My name is Jennifer Isidro. I'm from the class of 2013 and I'm from Santa Ana, California. So I applied to a program called A Better Chance, and they kind of send your applications to different private schools across the country. And so I just kind of came about VBS, and it was between that and public school. And so my parents were like, well, you're not going to public school. So they kind of just sent me off to VBS, and I didn't really know where I was going, but I saw where I landed, and I really liked it. It was definitely like a change of environment, but it was one of the coolest experiences just arriving on campus. It was really hot. It was like 110 degrees when I got to Phoenix, and I like see this little green bus picking us up, and like there's 3 students on the bus with me. And those 3 students ended up becoming one of my like best friends on campus, and one of them was from China, and another one was from Russia. So it was a great experience. Well, VBS has influenced me by pretty much me telling everyone about it. Every time somebody asks me what kind of experience I had in high school, I always say that it was unlike anyone else's, because no one really got to do any of the things that I did, especially at a public high school. It taught me a lot about myself. It taught me how to be independent, how to not depend on my parents as much. So when I came home, my parents were like, why don't you do the dishes? And they didn't even have to ask me anymore because I did them right away. You know, I didn't wait for them to do anything for me because I knew that it was my responsibility to do things by myself. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I learned, how to take care of myself and how to take care of other people around me as well. So, yeah. When I broke my arm freshman year, I took horseback riding, and I had never been on a horse before, and that day I specifically remember Caroline, which was the teacher, my horseback riding instructor, asking me if I had ever broken a bone before, and I said no, and of course it happened that day that I happened to fall off, but that experience, you know, going to the hospital, everything else, was like the most fun I have ever had in my life. Just because like everyone was just like so worried about me, and I'm just like, oh, I'm fine, like I'm fine. And then I get back to my room and there's like, you know, food on the table for me by my dorm parent, and like roses and a card from my horse Roman that I rode, who bucked me off. And just the next day, you know, everyone was like asking like, are you okay? Like, do you need anything? And it made me feel so welcome, considering it was like the 2nd month of school that I had ever been there, and everybody was acting like they were my family there. So yeah, that was a great moment. The art room. I mean, I was there pretty much, you know, there my entire day. Whenever I could be, I stayed there until I had to go to check-in back into the dorms at night. I'd love to paint. It was like the best feeling in the world after having a long day of school, and after work jobs especially. It was nice to just get in there and like play music and just not worry about anything else. So right now I have like my painting supplies, and I have like a little spot, but it's not the same, you know, having an entire room to yourself, and like on a Friday night everyone would go out and I would just be in the art room just like painting while everyone was like watching a movie or something. But it was just like, that's where I really found out what I like to do, and that's why I didn't want to go to school for it, because that's something I like to do for fun. It's not something I should work to do, like to work for. So yeah. I met my best friends. Well, one of them, Diana, she kind of was there before me. She came the year before I did, and as soon as I got there, she was like incredible. Hadn't really talked to her before, though I did know her. but she kind of was like my role model at VBS. Especially she was like, I always called her mom because she really like knew how to like solve all the problems I had my freshman year. So that was great. And then I had so many friends. They were all, it's really hard to define or like say which ones specifically were my best friends. But there was like Lena, there was Ilya, there was Christian, there were a whole bunch of people, and I kind of met them through just living with them, in the dorms. Them asking me for help, or me being on the soccer team, being one of the few girls on the soccer team, or being in cross country with Josie. Me and her were the only girls on there too. So I met them, I guess, through the different activities that they had to offer for us. So really taking advantage of that helped me a lot. Probably tell myself that I shouldn't be so afraid to talk. I was very shy my freshman year, and that was one of the few comments I got back from Lauren, who was my English teacher. She said that I was a very smart student and very outgoing, but I was just really shy because I didn't like speaking up for myself at times. But that definitely changed over the years. I like started getting more involved in junior class president, sophomore class president, and stuff like that. And just being involved and given, being trusted to be given different roles of being a leader, getting to do things that I like really helped me to speak up for myself, because then I found it kind of gave me a reason to, crawl out of my shell a lot more. So.